once the sun is in the sky. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm fully charged. Okay. Behind me is the walk.
I'm participating in the healthcare. Hello, TX Bell 208, 28. I'm participating in a chat online right at the moment, but I'm also I'm editing some video of myself, so on a previous Periscope. Hey, Anton Hablin, thank you very much. And so anyway, I've got like an array of tablets here. Hey, how you doing there, Dragon Dictator? I've seen you before, so thanks for showing up. I am trying to participate in the healthcare leadership tweet chat with Colin Hung and Bernadette Keefe and Joe Babian, and so look, I'm going to turn you around here so you got like this is my tweet chat tablet here. Okay, thank you very much. I have no idea if you probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about here, and I'm actually this was anyway. Back to the tweet chat. If anybody shows up in the tweet chat, tweet me, Wareflow, WAREFLO, say hello. Sorry about my uncombed hair. Okay. And the topic tonight, hey, thank you. The topic tonight has to do with names and labels in healthcare. Like whether you call a doctor or a physician or a provider. So a lot of doctors don't like being called providers. It's too generic. Anyway, so I'm looking back and forth. Thank you for all the hearts. That's very kind of you. Kathy Needler started. Okay, new follower. Thank you so much. I'm juggling. I'm multitasking. I'm doing 3 or 4 things right now. So I just happen to have on my TV previous Periscope on YouTube playing, and I'm editing it, and I'm participating in the HCLDR. Hello, Doc Nieder. How are you? Is the couch safely ensconced in the corner? Yes, TX Bell 2080. Okay, and I'm trying to figure out how to do tweet chats and Periscope at the same time. And so you can see the reflection of my lenses here. Yeah, new couch arrives. Wait a minute. What happened to the old couch? Wait a minute. What happened to the old couch? Okay, so anyway, God, whoever's doing the green hearts, God bless you. God, my heavens. Izzy, thank you so much. Good luck with that. I'm trying to do 3 things at the same time. I'm editing a YouTube video right now. You'll hear it in the background. And I'm participating in the healthcare leadership. Old one, the old one made it to the 3rd floor. That's fantastic. Anyway, like I said, I've done this before. There's got to be some way of combining Periscope and tweet chat. I mean, it's got to be. Hey, JVR Anderberg, thank you so much. But the reflection in my glasses is the fact that I'm participating in a tweet chat right here. So tweet chat is right here, and so anyway, there are a bunch of questions having to do with labels and names. So I'm just trying to figure out how to give each channel a equivalent amount of attention. Okay, so I am scrolling through. Okay, so hey Jimmy, how you doing? I'm doing the healthcare leadership tweet chat at the same time that I'm periscoping, and so I'm reading Steve Cisco. Found this a while back. Patients are not customers. Here are 6 reasons why. Hey, good. Thank you so much. And interesting. He's tweeting him. He's embedding a tweet of his own which is patients are not customers here. Yeah, okay, there you go. Charisse Maynard. I've seen her stuff before. A little warm here in Maryland. So what am I doing? I'm actually reading the tweet chat. So that's the tweet chat right there that I'm participating in. I'm trying to figure out how to get them all to work together. Sarah Green, people I know well. I mean, I feel like I know well through Twitter. Colin Rhodes, who was very sympathetic about some back problems I mentioned in a previous tweet chat. Ashley Ashby, Colin Hung, Jennifer Platt. Hey, okay, watching too. Is that cool? Very strange to be on these multiple things here. Ryan Lucas Disaster. Probably more consumer in the future now. Patience. I'm just basically reading this. Yeah, it's very cool. Laurel and Whitlock. I have a lot to say. Colin Hung he's like in a McDonald's someplace with slow internet. So, and he's like the host. Yinka Vidal. I've done this before. This is actually the second time I've done a tweet. Actually, maybe the third time I've done Periscope and a tweet chat at the same time. And the first time I did it, I had a laptop. No, I'm not recording. I'm not recording at the moment, but I can go back and record it later if I want to. So, like I said, Rasu Shrestha, love the blog write-up. Mike Jenkins, John McBride, Bernadette Keefe. I mean, Candace. These are all my favorite people. This is the pantheon of health IT Twitter folks, health care social media folks. Okay, I forgot. So Jimmy, what'd you forget? Okay, so I am Catherine Hughes on the T1 topic. When she's sick, she prefers to be a patient. I am a consumer, but it's more of a business arrangement. So we're talking about the difference between when you record. Yes, yeah. Hey, Louise Luca, all in caps. Fitzy Health, Candace, patient. We're reading some of this stuff. This is really kind of interesting. I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to get Periscope and tweet chats to work. Hey, Louisa. I'm participating on hey, Seneca Lake. I love the Finger Lakes, by the way. I'm participating in a tweet chat at the same time that I'm on Periscope. So, and by the way, I'm editing something in the background. You may be hearing me murmur on my monitor as I'm running it. Okay, so is nice. RS nice. So we got Cancer Geek in and out because he's doing a podcast at the moment. We'll follow up afterwards. We should do a blab, and four of us should divvy up the two. That's an interesting idea. If we did a blab during a tweet chat, that would help us sort of load level or workflow level the work. Colin Rhodes is saying, I never thought of it myself as a consumer during a clinical visit. Patient first, consumer second. I love that tweet. That's a great tweet. Scott Krugman and John McBride. I've seen him on Periscope. And let's see, 99% time consumers, ideally 1% patients from time to time. Wellness and health first, healthcare when necessary. So for those who are kind of just dropping in from, don't know what the heck's going on, I'm in the health IT area. J Guru Diva. Agree. Patient first, consumer second, like that. That's thank you for the blue hearts. Thank you very much. And I feel like I have too many balls in the air. I should really turn off the stuff in the background if I showed you what was going on. Okay, Jennifer Platt, we are consumers when we want to get the best value for our money, especially those with high healthcare deductibles. And of course, as we move into a kind of the consumer space, Jimmy, you are an incredible cheerleader, and you're my favorite Twitter and Periscope pal. So thank you for that comment. So, Steve Cisco, I think each of us is a customer, consumer, and patient at different times. And I think that's a very insightful comment. I think that we they're like hats or roles that we shift kind of fluidly between. And Colin Rhodes, fun to share sometimes. Twitter seems a bit disconnected. Yeah. I've had some interesting conversation with my wife about Twitter versus Periscope. Twitter's kind of intellectual and soundbite-ish, whereas Periscope is much more, personal. This brings to life the tweets. So I'm reading the tweets. Okay, so Sandra Woods. There's Sean Irregular, the social work guy. DC grew up on the old Anacostia. Yeah, absolutely. Visceral. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, I think visceral is the right word. Because and I'm splitting things up here. But I've noticed that people will get into like nasty little flame wars on Twitter, say nasty things to each other or insult each other by implication. But on Periscope, they're very nice. There are some exceptions to that, but and I think it's because people don't want to be rude face to face. Okay, so Candace, rare Candace, I agree. Not necessarily negative to be a consumer. HC Healthcare tends to follow consumer trends. Perhaps one can be an empowered patient, and that I think that is something we're all looking for is being an empowered patient. Labels are hard. This is Justin Smith. But change in terms helps to reorient. I think patients or consumers, yes, need quality care and service. So it is both. Yes, so we're both patients and consumers, and that is a kind of reminds me of like a particle and a wave in physics. People, the history of philosophy of science. This dude is well, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but okay. And this is neat. I'm holding my phone and my tablet next to each other, and I'm reading what people are having to say about labels, and I'm dealing with my trifocals. That's why I'm bouncing up and down. Okay, we'll give hearts if agreed to. Okay, so we've established ground rules. Okay, Sarah Green says, do providers refer to us as consumers? Not in my experience. Steve Cisco, T1. That's T1 stands for the topic one. Collection of posts, slide decks, white papers, and healthcare. And there's a Twitter and there's a link. So yeah. Thank you for two consumers. Yeah. Wow, Colin Young, who's sitting in a McDonald's someplace. Loving all the resources being shared for T1. Join if you haven't. We're talking about names and labels. And I did start with a quote from Shakespeare. Something about rose by any other name should smell as sweet as tweet. And also to workflow or not workflow. That is the question. That was the meme. Okay, Isabella Jordan. Maybe because the relationship is more transactional than collaborative. That's an interesting distinction. Transaction versus collaboration means it's not a consumer relationship. So that's fantastic. It's a very interesting insight. Colin Rhodes. Consumer brings a financial relationship to the force, but it's the clinical one that matters first, and I have to agree with Colin on that. John McBride. Hey, Dragon Dictator, thank you for coming back. I'm basically following a tweet chat, and it's about healthcare, and it's about should we call doctors, or should we call them providers? We should call patients, or we should call them consumers. And so it's happening in real time, and there's like 100 people. Hey, Jimmy Vanagan shared on. Thank you so much. Blah blah blah. Ryan Lucas, disaster. DZ45TR. One of them. I think he has the most interesting Twitter handle on all of anybody I follow. Economic offering in healthcare needs to leave goods and services model. That's interesting. And then there's a link, I think, to a blog on his. It'd be great if I could turn around and share that link on Periscope. But Okay, Joseph Babian.
Normally it would be like
Joseph, if I show you this later, hope you understand if I pronounce it correctly or incorrectly. And he's talking about these distinctions. Bernadette Keefe. If a nation runs their healthcare system as a business, those served buying goods are customers. Guess question. Should healthcare be, I think that really gets down to, should healthcare be a business?
surfing.
And that's a very interesting, I think that does get kind of down to the nubbin. Colin Hong, blah, 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 great point. He's referring to CTO and IT guy. And blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's interesting. Someone making an interesting analogy here. Patient versus person, man versus woman, male versus female. It's about being human, about humanizing. Okay. It's excellent point. Colin Rhodes, the label consumer implies markets, efficiency of markets, which does not exist in healthcare, and that's a very good point. And there's Kathy Nieder. Please correct me as to the pronunciation of it. Are we both? I am. Too bad we don't have enough transparency to be truly consumers, and that is true. Consumers is kind of associated with being a market. Nieder, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is great having this parallel channel here. Okay, Sean Erriger feels like the consumer is less paternalistic, implies shared decision making. One of our fave words, and he mentions MT Colin Hung. And this is great. I'm just reading the Twitter chat as it goes by. I guess I should introduce myself. I'm MD. I went to medical school. I work in healthcare IT, and I'm Wareflow on Twitter. WAREFLO, no W at the end. Okay, so Joseph here is talking about in which he feels like a consumer. So very cool, very interesting. And I'm learning a lot here. Sarah Green, the king of workflow. Very kind of you to refer to me that way. Thank you so much. Sarah Green, technology chef. She's addressing, and she says, getting there, but many individuals feel perplexed by the health plan jargon, and that is so true. I went to the health insurance conference in Nashville a couple months ago. About 4,000 folks, and yeah, it was a different world. I really did study, but I had trouble with all of the jargon. Okay, we are on to topic 2: physicians versus healthcare providers. Is one term better? Are they the same? So, Jimmy, do you feel offended by being called a provider? Do we need a Christina Lazasso? Yes. No. How about this? I'm going to do a screen capture of this. Nieder versus Vanagon. But hey, it's variety. See, so it's a variety is the spice of life. Do we need a new term in our efforts to transform current practice to person centered? LOL. Okay. Sally James says if my leg is broken, I'm not shopping for cast and advice. Why? Consumer seems wrong. And someone else made that point earlier, and that is that when you are in extremis, in pain, it's very difficult being a rational agent in an economic system to make the optimal choice. So how about you? God, I hate that. We put me on the spot. I'm like a people get degrees in philosophy. They sort of understand all sides of the argument. So I'm just going to say that I can appreciate both sides of that distinction. Both you, Dr. Nieder and Dr. Vanagon, are right. I'm not offended by provider if it's referring to a group providing care. Okay.
Yep, some is coming up over. Coming over.
Yeah, and that was actually earlier today. I was reading. Someone was making a similar point. I mean, if you are a nurse or a physician, you'd like to be referred to by your the way you see yourself. But if you are talking to a bunch of folks, and some are nurses, some are physicians, some are other folks, then you need to find a word which is an abstraction that applies to everybody that you're referring to, and that's my linguistics background. Okay, I'm getting behind. I'm sorry. I'm getting way behind, so I need to scroll ahead here. Sorry, I'm skipping over people. Back at you, Jimmy. Isabel Jordan, Diane Dally, MD. She's saying consumers. She likes consumers. Sufferer is an interesting one. Colin Rhodes, who sympathized with my back problems, is saying, how about sufferer? Is that a bit too real in most cases? So I want, so I think he has suffered some back pain. I'm totally speculating and reading between the line here. And Meredith Gould, T2, I prefer healthcare providers because there are many who are not physicians. I think that's consistent with what I said earlier, that this is lots of fun. I don't know if you saw this is like the third time I've tried to Periscope during a tweet chat. The first two were like absolute disasters. And this one is not as completely disastrous, so that progress. Astrid Mulhern, thank you very much for joining. I am participating in a tweet chat about healthcare. Hey, and we're talking. Yeah, this is the first. And we're talking about do doctors are they offended when they're called physicians or providers? So would you rather be called a physician? And patients, are they consumers? So it's very interesting. If you search on Twitter for hashtag HCLDR for healthcare leader, you can pick up the thread. So Astrid, Jimmy Vanagan, yep. And he's doing incredible stuff. The way in which he has leveraged off-the-shelf electronic health record technology and bent it to his will. I would just prefer they call me back. Yes, it reminds me of it's like, just don't, I don't care what you call me, just don't call me late for dinner. There's an old joke. Okay, Fleming Rasmussen. In the Canadian context, I lost the context on that. So, provider. Okay, so Jennifer Platt is saying a provider depersonalizes the relationship. A physician when you're talking about a real person. So, and Sarah Green is talking about her acupuncturist, who functions as her primary healthcare provider. I call her Heather by her name. She calls me Sarah. I love this. And Dr. Brian Stork says T2. He says, I prefer purveyor. Hey, John Lynn, how you doing? Darn. I have watched you. Great stuff. John Lynn, I have loved your Dubai stuff. Your Dubai stuff has been awesome. I'm participating in the healthcare leadership hashtag HCLDR, and I'm basically just reading the freaking tweets. Anyway, doctors, and we're debating about do doctors, are they offended when they're called providers, and should we call patients? All I can do is work with what I got. Your aquarium mall stuff was my favorite. It was the best. Seeing the folks on the flowing roads, other people who are watching this, have no clue to what I'm talking about. But John went over and gave this. He gave a workshop on electronic health records in the United Arab Emirates, and then he went, the Shark, and then he just walked around and talked, which is the best. Okay, so we're talking about providers, patient. So Dr. Brian Stork says he prefers being called the Shark Tank. He calls me a purveyor of urological health and wellness. So how about that? Okay, I am getting so far behind, and I just dropped my laptop. I mean my tablet. I got to get back into the. Okay, so thank you for the heart. Whoever sent that red heart. Okay, so yes, I just dropped my tab, but I have it back. So Christopher Trapp is saying his wife doesn't like provider. Colin Rhodes likes to refer to physicians as care team leaders to recognize their inherent responsibilities. I'm juggling things. Oh gosh, this is like, I really need to like 3D print like a third arm and hand. Aware Senior Care says it doesn't matter what they're called. Brian Castrucci says when doctors start acting like businessmen, who do people turn to? Interesting. Tomorrow I'm a judge at a Shark Tank-like event for digital health startups at CTIA Mobility Conference. What does CTIA stand for, and is there a hashtag and a link on that? And Jimmy is saying that he needs to have his son type his tweets. Okay. All right. Bernstein Keefe. I don't think we should use provider. Healthcare systems love it because they have bought and own MDs, and so lump them together. Yeah, there is a commoditization, an implication of commoditization. I think associated with provider. I'm not sure, and I'm sure there's a hashtag. Hey, if you can find it, I would love to follow. Do you have a time on that, so I can at least check your account and find out what the hashtag is? Okay, Sandra Woods. Blah blah blah. Okay, now we're discussing Canada. Yeah, well, I think I've heard the four letters before together, and I apologize that I'm a judge for two parts. Okay, well that's great. Tweet. Okay, Jennifer Platt. Psychologists, dentists, and other providers are providers, not MDs. I don't call my doctors doctor unless they use the honorific. That's from Meredith Gold. The reading brings a more oomph to the tweets you think. Well, hey, a dramatic, it's like these mean tweets. These people who are on, okay, hey, okay, all right, I got to get onto this. Ashley Ashby says, it's great to have your perspective. I think it's hard for people to think biz when they feel dehumanized. Okay, Terry Hoffman. There's Steve Cisco again. He says, if anyone dislikes provider, then they don't like vendor, which is the term some payers use. So I think he's kind of coming out of the healthcare insurance payer industry. Colin Hong, I love it. A dramatic reading. Okay. Blah 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 blah. I love this. So there's someone here, and their Twitter handle is Crazy Ass Cancer. I love it. And Bernadette Keefe, who is NXT Stop 1, is saying, hey there, Michelle, so lovely to have you with us. Alrighty. Crazy Ass Cancer, hello, Michelle. We're on the T2. T stands for topic. Hey, Duck Meter, a bit like Paul reading. Oh my God. Super mobility. I will be searching for, I'm obsessive. And I have every morning I have a set of hashtags, and then I set up to search on them. So I will be watching for your stuff. Okay, Crazy Ass Cancer. I love your Twitter handle. Real doctors have PhDs, as I was taught as a child. My sister went on to be a doctor without a PhD. The shame. Need an Irish accent. Oh my God.
I'll probably walk up in a moment.
There are all kinds of things on the tip of my tongue, but I would be embarrassing myself. But I follow some people on Periscope who are Irish, and they're very funny.
Put it on.
Okay. T3. The question is, as healthcare leaders, how can we help to end improper labeling? Yeah, actually, I know something about the PhD MD thing. Going back to the Middle Ages, I actually did like some reading on this. How can we end improper labeling of people in healthcare? That's a more important topic than what I read about MDs and PhDs. So, although it's a very interesting distinction. Okay, Ryan Lucas, DZ45TR. DZ45. See, 4 looks like an A and 5 looks like an S. So disaster. Maybe we should start looking at patient as an actor and provider as an acting coach. I'm good. I'm okay. I like that. Michelle Longabao. That is her Twitter account is crazy ass cancer. As a nurse and a patient, I guess I am quote old school. Even with permission, I still address my physicians as doctor.
I'm not sure if a fisheye would be useful here.
The diversity, the cultural mix here, the microcultural mix is incredible. I love this. Brian Stork. It is one thing to be called provider by a patient. Can be completely different if called provider by the administrator. Ha! How about that? So a doctor doesn't mind being called a provider by a patient, but may not appreciate it being called a provider by a healthcare administrator. Now that's a very interesting angle. Bernadette Keefe, and I address Mr. and Ms. And I didn't practice medicine. I got a bunch of degrees, and one of them was a medical degree. But when I was in medical school, I bumped into issues of how to address patients, and was appropriately corrected. Okay, so Bernadette Keefe is RTing. No. Please call me Chuck. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, Bernadette Keefe is RTing C-Trap. I've never called my patient my healthcare provider or physician. She's my doctor. That's a pretty... Words matter. Very interesting. Hughes. For me, the physician-patient experience is unique and uniquely intimate. Surgeon speaking. She's a surgeon. Other terms do not capture or respect this. So this is emphasis that is duly placed. Okay, Cascadia. I agree with that. So Colin Rhodes is addressing Cascadia, and he's saying, I agree that having been on both sides, a bit stuffy over here on the East Coast. I live on the East Coast, so I do happen to know. Oops, sorry about that. I dropped my phone. And let me drop down some of the this background noise. Sorry about that. I'll show you what I'm actually. See if I click here. It's not worth it. I found the Periscope client to be sometimes recalcitrant to double clicking for reversal and for stopping. Anyway, okay, Macy Henderson, perception is the key. Those working in healthcare need to think business sometimes needs to, okay, so they're linking business of healthcare to professionalism. P.F. Anderson, okay, what about instead of calling them doctor or surgeon or provider or practitioner, calling them magician? That's interesting. And then there's a link to an NLM, National Library of Medicine article. I'd go off and look at that right now, except that would, I'll look at that later. Mike Jenkins, technology chef with the great hat. I have his hat, by the way. I have one of his hats. Yes. Call patients, doctors, dentists, clerks what they want to be. Ask them. Excellent. Simple and effective. Super duper. Okay, we got 20 more minutes of this. This is fun. I can't. So next time, Jimmy, or you do this, and I'll cat call. Righty, tweets have slowed down here. I keep on refreshing, so I'm waiting for the next. This is cool. Okay, Droopy Social Worker. What a great name. Teach people to introduce themselves and their role. I'm Droopy, and I'm your social worker. Next time we blab, and we can all join. I love it. But we should. I can't. Yeah, but we need to let's have like a blab in conjunction to it with a Twitter account. A tweet chat. Okay, Catherine Leriviere says patients belong, in quotes, to doctors and vice versa, but do providers, in quotes, have that kind of relationship with their consumers, in quotes? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's blab. Okay, let's do it on Friday. Is that? Are you? When's your? Whatever. Yes, we'll do it. Okay. Isabel Jordan says any of our providers. I refer to their specialty individually. I know we're disrupting Jimmy's workflow terribly. I hear. Okay, their team. So someone said. Chuck read tweets and we comment. There you go. Well, that's. I'm become like Brokaw, wasn't he one of this? You got Dan Rather, something Brokaw. Oh Lord, now I have to check out Blab. You guys give me so much work to do, so much. Yeah. There's a lot of live streaming stuff. Okay, I'm catching up here. John McBride, Sarah Green. Sarah Green comments about how medical schools are including more communication curriculum. Droopy Social Worker. Everyone starts to look the same and badges don't help. Don't tell lab from nursing. RNs from LPNs. Doctors from nursing. It's pretty cool. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Gio Sisson. All right. We have plenty of organizations trying to do it for us. NIH, Joint Com, we need to encourage proper addressing of patients and colleagues within organizations. Terry Hoffman. Now, T3, I don't remember what the topic is for T3. I presume it's part of the general theme. Call me whatever you want, just please take good care of me and support informed and shared decision making. That's from Terry Kaufman. Dr. Lee Scher is addressing e-books, STEL. Yeah, okay. I think quality equals access and empathy to most people. Bar has changed. Colin Rhodes, I think you have to go to ProMedica for that. And he's replying to, hey, Firemenork. Yinka Vidal, I hate labels and titles, but there are designated titles in medicine to help differentiate a surgeon from a butcher. Oh my gosh. That's a good one. I like that. Okay, so busy editing paternalism. It's paternalistic terms and it says you didn't do what I said, gives no context. LOL. Okay, Bernadette Keefe. Doc is great. I like it a lot. And she's mentioning EHR and HIT update, which is run by John Lynn. I prefer Doc, much faster. DOC. Blah, blah, blah. Michelle Smith. Fantastic. Can retweet this a zillion times. And she's referring to Shaylon Beg, MDMS. Never call a patient non-compliant. Someone posted a link to Magicians. It could be a plan that's not compliant. P.F. Anderson, and they're addressing Courage Sings. It's the same problem with all linguistics about bad, quote, unquote, language. Our brains evolved for it. Yeah, our brains evolved for bad language. And there's Kathy Nieder, and addressing Dr. Nick. I have always hated that. Check on pneumonia. Yes. In room 205. No, never. There's a term for that in linguistics. There's actually an area called medical linguistics. And so when you refer to a patient by their condition. That there's actually a term for doing that, which is, of course, frowned upon. Gia Lisa Nissan. Oh yeah. Oh, there is a term. I'll look it up. I will look it up. I'm all but dissertation in linguistics. I took 20 courses. Gosh, I can't remember what the term was. Anyway, okay, jumping in late. Homework for you. Bernadette used workflow term. I know. I know she used the workflow term. Did she just use the workflow term? Because I'll know in a moment. Because I have all kinds of workflows. Anybody who mentions workflow anywhere in the health IT universe, I am informed within a minute or two. Okay, Meredith Gold. Difficult, quote, is often code for knowledgeable, opinionated, engaged, and armed with data and experience. By the way, I didn't plan to do this. So this is not polished at all, and I apologize for my lack of polish. Time for our final question. Okay. It is so perfect. People become so. Ashby is replying to EHR and HIT. This is profound. It is so perfect. People become submissive. Thank you. Because they feel judged. Very interesting. Very interesting point there. Okay, and okay, Sarah Green. And what if the patient happens to be a doctor? Then what do you call them? We're talking. The philosophers are afoot, looking for logical contradictions in language. Meredith Gold. I told the doctor that she gave me hope because of her listening skills and compassion. That's Cascadia. Yes. Hello, my name is, and that's referring to an awesome selfie. Lack of context. I have no idea what's going on there. Looks interesting though. Ryan favorited it, so maybe he can tell me what's going on. Okay, Cascadia. Last two ECGs my son had with me saying to technicians, and your name is, no intros before. Okay, so the niceties are not being observed. Advocacy can lead to a difficult tag. Yes, advocacy. And so, what term or label in healthcare would you like to see ended? That's question 4. So this should be very interesting. And as Mike Jenkins, technology chef on Twitter, says, this is profound. This is so perfect. And he's referring to this: people become submissive patients because they feel judged. Colin Young. There are many professionals who treat people as people. Harder in harried environments. I think that's where some workflow related stuff kind of comes in. I don't mean to pivot, and I won't. Yinka Vidal. Nice try. I wish people left their egos at home. Many carried on their heads. Yeah, that's true. Kind of no So Karen Hughes says, kind of know patients very well into short room inside and out. Okay, so, and she's a doc. So thank you very much. Sarah Green, referring to this question, how about payer? She doesn't like it. Just kick off the convo. There's no one person entity who pays for a given app. So she's basically saying, let's get rid of the word payer. Non-compliant. Let's get rid of the word non-compliant. Okay, and all changed. I'm done with tone and diplomacy. When I'm scared, I'm tired, and then I got too many specialists. Yep. Scrolling down here. Difficult, doesn't like the word. Bernadette Keefe doesn't like the word difficult. If a patient has to fight to be heard or understood, it really is the doctor being difficult. I retweeted that one, yeah. Well, okay. That's, compliance. Dr. Gia Sisson does not like the word compliance. And Courage Sings does not like the phrase non-compliant. And Doc Nieder, yep, and difficult. So everybody doesn't like difficult, compliant, or non-compliant. Jennifer Platt, doctor of PH, public health, pharmacy, not sure. Hypochondriac or difficult patient when it might be someone following their intuition. Viradharajan K. Argued for compliant. Ambulate. Ambulate is yeah. I'm familiar with the word perambulate, which means walk around the circumference of something. So, John, you argued for it, meaning elimination of the compliant word, or you argued for it in terms of it being, rehabilitatable. And now we wait 15 seconds for a reply. Okay, Ryan Lucas, it's a great goal. Talking about sender receiver. Calling me non-compliant might make me change and be compliant. Yeah, I'm, as an engineer, I'm, I want to say I'm more inured or have a thicker skin relative to these words, but that isn't necessarily true. I don't know. Anyway, Mike Jenkins says, payer carrier should be replaced with something more personal. Justin Smith is weighing in on let's get rid of difficult. So I think the word difficult, it seems to be leading the pack in terms of let's get rid of a difficult patient. Nobody here has brought up the phrase Gomer, by the way. Gomer, which stands for get out of my emergency room. Jennifer Platt, been there with my son, stressful, hindsight 2020, should have listened to my intuition. And she's agreeing with Bernadette Keefe, NXT Stop 1. House of God, yeah, what a novel. What a, kind of like the equivalent of MASH in medical schools. Gomer. Hey, but there's a like a Gomer blog out there that's actually quite popular. Anything bound referring to. So this person, Jody Sperber, doesn't like referring to healthcare as a vertical, so impersonal. Yeah, there's search for Gomer blog. No, and there's actually been some very I got a cough here, but there's been some very funny writing. There's some very funny writing on the Gomer blog. Okay, Colin Young, Meredith. Okay, it wouldn't be terrible to have this in the EHR. Yeah, Gomer blog. Search for Gomer blog. And I have to say, like I said, I mean, I'm not defending the word Gomer, but there's some very funny blog posts on the Gomer blog. Okay, Sean Ereger, and he's talking about problematic language and suicide, which, and there's a link. I'd love to be able to share the link. I'd love to be able to share links on Periscope. But if we're, Kathy Nieder, if we are throwing out non-adherent, how do we describe a patient who won't or can't take meds in 3 words or less? 3 words or less. Colin Rhodes, perhaps will affect pressure and you need a statin. That's a reply to something which I don't have the context for. Okay, and P.F. Anderson, who, by the way, I notice National Maker Faire follows. I went to the National Maker Faire with Mr. Rimp, and they follow P.F. Anderson. Where did that connection come from? I wonder if I retweeted and they followed. Anyway, let's ditch compliant and non-compliant. Greg Masters, who I always enjoy. He's an excellent foil. Bum to miss healthcare LDR, healthcare leadership tweet chat tonight. Great topic. Informed consent. Wow. Diane Daly, MD, would like to get rid of the phrase informed consent. I'm okay. Okay, I'd be interested in knowing what the, but I can't do 5 things at the same time and ask her what she means. So maybe you can ask. Her name is Diane with 2 N's, DYANNDALEYMD. Is there such a thing as true? Well, perhaps not. But, I mean, as an ideal to be strove for, it seems a good direction. Yeah. Okay. Informed. Okay. Well, that's okay. Okay. More people on hating the war metaphor. Okay. So this person doesn't like. So Sally James is referring to Christina Lizasso, and she wants to minimize the battle war terminology. I'd like to toss out prevention and use risk reduction. Risk reduction. Interesting. I took entire courses on mathematical risk reduction several decades ago. I'd be okay with that. Okay. Okay. Catherine Laraviere doesn't like the phrase compliance packaging. I have never ever heard the phrase, quote, compliance packaging before in my life, but apparently it's out there. And she doesn't like it. Blah, blah, blah. Some patients find battle terms helpful. Yeah. Christina Lizasso says some patients find battle terms helpful personally for them. I try to avoid it. There is an element of, I'm thinking of, I think there's a scene in Shakespeare's Henry VIII where we few who are about to, everybody will forever remember what we did on this battlefield today, and it's the greater glory, and there is an element of, bucking everybody up and giving everybody a stiffer chin from some of those military terms. I don't know whether that's universally should be verboten. Oh, let's see. Bill Bunning. Okay. Well, I think we're almost to the end here, and I'm. Let's see here. So we got Kathy and James. You're the only live viewers. I'm looking at my little list here. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. I don't know that there's a career in reading tweets and tweet chats, but Leonard Kish addressing EHR and HIT, which, by the way, is John Lynn. You want to be compliant? Sounds like something out of RoboCop. Failure to comply within 10 seconds will result in... So went with it. Alrighty. Okay. This is... Gosh. I did not start off thinking I would read my favorite tweets from this Twitter chat, but yeah, it went by fast, didn't it? Gosh. This will be, now I can play this and record this with AZ screen recorder and upload to YouTube. Now I don't know who would want to watch it besides you, me, and and don't need her, but not, and probably not even you too. But my mom might be interested in it, so. But she doesn't know about it. Yeah, compose a poem with it. No, I don't think I'll compose a poem with it. But Doc Nieder, Jimmy knows about it, but I figured out a way that I can capture this video, upload it to YouTube, and all of the hearts and all of the comments go with it. So, yeah. That's great. Well, tweets have slowed down. Okay, we got people are taking their leaves. Oh, so Sandra Woods hates homeopathic medicine. And Bernadette Keefe is saying, I feel urged to label. Why am I finding this? I'm not, she's just saying that this idea that people want to label is to be, surmounted. Okay. Yeah. So P.F. Anderson is saying, yeah, I know. What we need is something that addresses the problem, which is misunderstanding and inability. Yeah, that's okay. Colin Rhodes says, good night, all, and thanks for stimulating ideas for the week. I will continue my mental mastication on your ideas in my sleep. And I think I feel like Santa Claus. And with all, a good night.
But once the sun is in the sky,